Hello, hello. This is my activity 7, week 7. Um, to answer the questions, sorry, I'm gonna look at the camera. To answer the questions that I was presented, see, we have 5 questions. So with number 1, we have the 7 sins of speaking. Treasure talks about gossip being number 1, talking about someone who isn't present or that doesn't have the ability to defend what they are saying about them, and essentially spreading rumors and sensitive information about one. Pretty nasty thing to do. Don't like it at all. Number 2 is judging, criticizing, or undermining someone without understanding them. So this means like judging the book by its cover. It's a good little phrase. Um, not allowing somebody to really show who they are, or seeing who they are, and just dogging on them just because of how they are perceived. The next thing is negativity, allowing for bad or unfavorable aspects of the conversation that spoils the mood. This is a really prevalent thing in a lot of males, and I think it's very appealing and entertaining. So negativity is a high and easy way to express the uh, conversation, really. Um, and I'll go more into detail in the next questions. The next one is complaining, expressing dissatisfaction without a need for resolution. So, you know, just just nonstop, just talking shit about things. Just allowing the negativity again to seep into how you view things, and um, not allowing some type of space to be able to improve the situation, and just you know again spreading more negativity. So I feel like those go hand in hand in a way. And excuses, not taking responsibility for one's actions, and blaming the actions of yourself or other things onto others, and just not being accountable. Really, is the opposite of being accountable, and this can go into lying, and essentially this is misleading or share information that is just not true. Um, this is just it leads to a dark path. It's not a good thing to do. It spoils everything. Essentially, just all this really can go back to negativity. And lastly, dogmatism, not allowing for others' opinions and viewpoints. So just kind of really being selfish and self-centered on how you're thinking, and not um, allowing for others to, and welcoming others. That's a better word to say. Welcoming others to share how they feel and what their opinions are on things. Um, this now leads me to number 2, avoiding exaggeration and dogmatism. So, to avoid exaggeration, one has to be true in the words and thoughts that they share. This means little to no lying, making sure your words are not misleading, and in the events that you speak of are actual events and are backed by evidence that is related. So, essentially, not talking out of your ass. I mean, uh, sorry. Um, and for dogmatism, can be avoided by open-mindedness and being open-minded, and in a conversation, and allowing for others to share and express their thoughts and opinions, like I said earlier. And this includes respecting those opinions as well, and limiting the negative expressions that you want to give, even though you don't uh, inspire or agree with the other person's statement. So that's how you avoid those two, and it's not an easy thing to do, especially if you do it, you know, unintentionally. It just happens for most, and this can switch over to number 3, is persuading without being negative. Persuading without being negative is a very difficult thing to do as well, but it's achievable. But as humans, we grasp onto the negative because it's so entertaining. It's thrilling. It's like, oh shit, like something crazy is happening. Negative things are um, attractive. That's the word. It's an attractive thing, and this can be related to selling cars and houses and products. Salesmen like to appeal to the positive in a car that's broken down or has engine problems, or a house that has a major leak, or plumbing issues, or foundation issues, or products that don't really work. But they do this by addressing the problem and then quickly offering a easy solution, a solution that is obtainable, and that is that will just undermine the negativity. And this is can be cited and aided with using encouraging words and avoiding any type of disrespect, because as soon as people are disrespected in any type of way, they just kind of shut down. And essentially, that's just what you want to avoid when you're trying to persuade without being negative. And that leads to number four, and this is what you can use when you're persuading, but to hail, which means to greet or acclaim enthusiastically. So H means honesty, being true in yourself and in your statements, and not lying and not over exaggerating. Authenticity, being yourself. This also means not over exaggerating and avoiding the urge to pretend. And I is integrity. I mean, we've known that since we were kids. Doing what's right, no one's around. Being able to do what you got to do and staying true to yourself, which is essentially all the same thing. And then the big one is L, love. Being hopeful and wishful on the well-being of others, and being able to, um, just produce good energy um, to others when they're in need of it. And lastly, how to use your voice effectively. So in the video, Treasure speaks on warming up and preparing for speech and speaking in an event or a situation. Means anything, talking to a boss, talking to your family, giving a speech at work or at school, doing a video speech. He does this by having a personal regimen and ritual. This is followed by practicing the following effective speech tools. Registering uh, allows you to speak with a proper tone and come with power from the chest, which resonates with the audience that you're sharing. Uh, timbre. So I don't know. I can't pronounce the word right now. My mind is just. Anyways, it focuses on the feeling of your voice, and it draws attention to the energy that you're giving when you speak to that person. Like, how are you presenting yourself? This is essentially similar to porosity. However, that this focuses on the meaning and intent of your words. Like, what are you trying to share? What message are you trying to give? And pace, which is something I might need to slow down on. I just like to talk a lot fast and sometimes say nonsense, but that's essentially what pace allows you to do, is control the conversation with emphasis and silence at times too, to be able to you know pull the reins on a conversation from not letting it steer too far left or steer too far right, and being able to stay centered in what you're speaking about and who you're speaking to. uh, this corresponds with pitch. Allows you to find what pitch you need for a situation. Sometimes it's different. Like, you don't need to speak too highly and too low. When you're in a mad voice, you don't want to talk to a significant other that like that all the time, because it's just unappealing. And when you're at like a funeral or something, you don't want to speak with a high pitch and super happy, super enthusiastic. It's just off-putting. So this will pretty much change with the event or situation you're in. What is appropriate in that time. And lastly, volume. This focuses on how you present the loudness of your voice, and which also needs to be adjusted for various situations that we find ourselves in. Because you need to speak louder in some points and you need to speak quieter in some points. So it varies on, like I said, whether you're at a funeral or you're taking a test or you're giving a pep talk to your crew, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my video. Thank you.